Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on the time you're watching this YouTube video. It's another day, another dollar to make. So if you're new to this YouTube channel, please like this video, share, and subscribe. So on today's video, I'm going to be doing a pre-session analysis on EURUSD, and I'm going to start from the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we are in a bullish trend. This is the bullish break of structure. So this is my current strong internal low, swing low, and this is my weak internal high. I've named it as my internal high because we haven't gotten a significant pullback relevant to the previous price action. So I can label it as my internal high. If price develops, if we see a deeper pullback, then I'll I'll change it to my swing high. So price pullback, we got this pullback after the swing break of structure and the internal break of structure. But then within the swing range, there's this internal structure. So price pullback mitigated. It has now mitigated the top of this weekly demand range. And after mitigation of the weekly demand, we got this reaction, which currently it could be either now the signaling that price could now be forming the next internal leg, or this could just be an internal pullback, and then price now could target this internal low, so that price can start forming internal structure to help facilitate the swing pullback. We'll confirm that this high will be the next internal lower high if price breaks and closes below this low. But even if this is my internal range currently, if price starts to form internal structure within the pullback, then I'm happy to reset my internal structure to the price action that is forming in the pullback. So there's still cause for lower prices. There's still this unmitigated demand zone here, which price could mitigate first for maybe now after mitigation of the demand, the internal low high could be formed from there, and you see it will be a good. If you see, there's this eye choke that we've had here. So if price comes, liquidates that low, and we get the mitigation of the demand, you see, we'll have a strong liquidation within the demand, and maybe that liquidation will be institutions will use the liquidity taken below that low for price to push up to fill their buy orders, you see. So it will be a great move if we see price liquidate this low for price to mitigate demand. So that's all for the daily time frame. Let's drop down to the to the 4-hour time frame, sorry. So on the 4-hour time frame, the swing structure is a huge one. This is the swing structure. It's bullish. That is the bullish 4-hour break of structure. It's the same as the daily time frame. So also the swing low is the same as the daily time frame. So this is my strong 4-hour swing low, and this is my weak 4-hour swing high. If you see, we've had a significant pullback relevant to this structure, the previous swing range. So that's why I've named it as my weak swing high. It's a weak swing high since it hasn't broken the strong swing low. It hasn't broken the swing low. So now within the swing range, there's this internal structure which is forming to facilitate the swing pullback. So this is my strong internal high, and this is my weak internal low. So after the internal break of structure, price mitigated discount prices of the swing range. It liquidated all this sell side liquidity below here, and after that, we got the internal pullback. So after price mitigated this extreme internal supply that caused the internal break of structure, it's also a flip zone. By the way, it flipped this demand over here. Yeah, we got the mitigation, we got the reaction, then price came and closed below the low, confirming the flip. So it's a flip, and also it has this sort of lead over here, although it's some sort of far, but it's still lead for this POI. And after mitigation of the supply, we got bearish order flow shift. So this low over here
price broke below it, confirming the bearish church. So it could be a signal for that the supply is holding, and also this high is holding. So now, maybe now this fractal order flow could remain bearish until price takes out the weak internal low. So you see, this internal 4-hour internal pullback is the daily pullback that I'm suggesting that it could either be now, maybe price is forming the next daily internal leg, or it could be forming the daily internal pullback. So if this internal 4-hour internal remains bearish, then truly we can confirm that the daily move was a bullish, was a pullback, was an internal pullback, and now price is now targeting the weak internal low, and also for price to mitigate the daily demand, So now last week price mitigated this demand, and after that we got this reaction, although after the reaction price has just been consolidating here, but also it has tapped into this. It hasn't mitigated the 4-hour supply. It has just mitigated. I want to zoom in here. It has just mitigated them. You see, the whole of this is 4-hour supply range. So price has tapped the top of the bottom of the supply range, and after that it has been kind of forming, decelerating this way. So maybe now price could be targeting this low, or maybe we could see price take out all this liquidity, and then price to push up, mitigate supply, and after mitigation of supply, you see price will also have liquidated all these highs, and maybe after that now we could see, now price targeting the weak fractal low. But then let me drop it well so you can see liquidation of the low, you see, and then after that, if it pushes up, mitigates supply, and sweeps all this buy side liquidity, price will have left equal lows here, which price now could target on the way down. So to get involved, but the way I've just drawn is the way I would want to see currently, so that I can get involved. So to play the deep pullback to this supply, although the way price has just been ranging here, it could suggest that price is now ready now to target this low, because we've already had a significant pullback, meaning price could now target the low, or maybe it could just liquidate these lows and maybe even shift. There's still buy sell liquidity above this fractal high, which price could target on the way up. But the move that I'm expecting is either liquidation of these lows, then price to mitigate this supply, and then after mitigation of the supply, price to target the low, or price to push up, liquidate these highs, then after that we could see now price target the lows. So that's all for the 4-hour time frame. Let's drop down to the M15 time frame. So on the M15, the swing structure is also a huge range. So this is my swing structure. It's bullish. It has been bullish to facilitate the 4-hour internal pullback. So that's the bullish M15 swing breakup structure. So this is my strong swing low, and this is my weak swing high. But this isn't my swing high, because if you compare, even from the way I've drawn that, if I draw like that, if you compare it to this, you see it's not relevant to this. It's almost quarter to the, or to equal EQ of the previous swing range. But from this high, it's when we've had that significant pullback. That's why that is my weak swing high. So within the swing range, there's this internal structure which is bearish to facilitate the swing pullback. So this is my weak strong swing high. So this is my M15 weak swing high, and it's also the M15 internal strong high. And this is my weak internal low. Even from the M15 now, you can see there clear the way price has just been ranging. So to get involved, I'd really want to see price break out of this range. I really don't want to get to trade within this range. But if you want, you can trade. You can short from the top, that 3% of the range, or buy from the bottom 33%, because even as you can see, price has, you see, once it taps the top 33% of the range, it pushes down. Once it mitigates bottom of the 33% of the range, we get a push up. After it mitigates top 33% of the range, it pushes up. You see here, it pushed up, it mitigated the AQ, and then it pushed down, mitigated bottom 33% of the range, then push up. You see, it's just ranging in between here. So if you want, like right now, the way it's in the bottom 33% of the range, you can look for longs to the top 33% of the range, then you can look for shorts again to the bottom if you want to trade this range. But it's really low probability, and maybe now the internal pullback is complete. Maybe this high, maybe now price has formed the internal lower high, and price could not be forming the internal lower low. So it's just best if to wait for high probability setups, where you wait for either, if you want to get involved in the shorts, you can wait for price to break out, wait for the order flow shift, then you target now the week low and also this sell side liquidity. And another way, if you want to get involved with longs, you can wait for sweep of these lows, since price is coming from mitigation of demand. And from this forward demand mitigation, we could see the reaction for price to mitigate for our supply. So maybe price isn't now ready to mitigate the low, to target the low. Maybe we are still in the internal pullback phase, and which is also the 4-hour fractal pullback phase. So if we see a liquidation of these lows followed by bullish order flow shift, then we can look for longs from the fresh session demand that will have been formed to play the deep internal pullback. But the longs currently are phase B, pro swing counter internal. But it swing could still remain bullish until price takes out this. But this is the buy side liquidity of the, which is visible on the 4-hour time frame, and it's also visible on the 15 time frame, which price could still, maybe now this price is still forming the next. But let me clear this so you can have a clean chart. So maybe this is price forming the next M15 swing leg, which is also yeah, in the 4-hour time frame, it's 4-hour high. And also on the daily time frame, you see, if M15 swing remains bullish, it could be good, because it will be suggesting that price is likely targeting the daily week internal high. But they forgive me for my stammering. When I talk fast, I stammer. So that's all for M15 and today's precision analysis. But they also, another way I can get involved with long, but the way, what I'm waiting for so that I can get involved is if price breaks out. But if price breaks out of this range, if for shorts, I'd want to see price pull back here, so I can look for shorts after the order flow shift. Then I look for shorts from the session supply that will have formed. This will be phase C to play the deep swing pullback. And for longs, I'd want to see price clearly break out, even we see the bearish eyeballs, then I can look for phase B longs to play the internal pullback. That's the only way that I'll get involved. But I won't I will just let price show me during session what it wants to do so that I can get involved. So that's all for today's video. I wish you all a wonderful and a blessed day. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and please like this video, share, and subscribe.